Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com and welcome to this quote of the week video, which is going to touch base on the topic of self-concept, right? Concept of self, your internal identity, the core elements of manifesting, the core elements of Neville's teachings, the core element of the law of assumption. And if you want to consciously master your fate, if you want to manifest your goals, this is definitely a highly relevant topic that you should understand and apply correctly. So this is why in this quote, we're going to shine some light again on the topic of self-concept. So with that, let's just dive right into it, okay? So here's this week's quote from Neville. He said, "The most remarkable feature of man's future is its flexibility, right? It is determined by his attitudes rather than by his acts. The cornerstone," and that is one of my favorite quotes out there, "on which all things are based is man's concept of himself. He acts as he does and has the experiences that he does because of his concept of himself is what it is, and for no other reason. Had he a different concept of self," sorry for the spelling mistake, "he would act differently. A change of concept of self automatically alters his future." Okay, now first of all, let us quickly again understand what self-concept is. Okay, and it's, if I break it down, very simple, very straightforward, then it's simply all the convictions that you have about yourself, whatever you identify with. So for example, if I tell you money, what is your initial instant reaction without you thinking about it? And for some of you, that will be, "Oh shit, I wish I would have more." For some of you, that is, "Oh, I always have more than enough." For some of you, that is, "I don't care about money." So, you know, different people, they are in different states, so they react differently, but they are all internally identified with different states, with different assumptions about themselves, different convictions, what is true, how things work. That is your concept of yourself, right? What you hold and believe to be true about yourself. And that is the case for all life areas. I could tell you health right now. I could tell you relationships. What do you believe, right? I could tell you social interactions, people. Right? Do you believe that you have to always prove your worth? Do you believe that you're worthy, that you're unworthy? All of that can be broken down to your self-concept. And now, let us go into this quote, okay? So first of all, Neville says, "The most remarkable, right, the most outstanding feature of man's future is its flexibility." And that is what so many people, when they get into the manifestation teachings, when they get into the manifestation journey, then come to realize is that their future, that their fate, that they have it in their own hand, that it is not preset, that they can like change the course of their life by changing them. And therefore, new life circumstances will show up. So it's flexible, right? It's not set in stone. We can mold life, basically, if we mold our internal world, if we transform who we are within. Then the mirror of life reflects back new results. Because again, this self-concept is reflected back to us via people, via circumstances, via events. We get this reflected back to us all the time through our entire life. So manifestation is not something you start and pause. It's something that you can just do more and more consciously to master your fate more consciously. But it's always and already in your own hands, okay? And now, what is our future? What is our circumstances of life? What is it based on? Right? What is it determined by? It is determined by our attitudes, right? By our internal attitudes, our internal identity, who we believe us to be, what we're convinced of, right? About money, relationships, health. These are the core areas, but also, you know, worthiness, and do we deserve this, and business, and just everything, right? Rather than his acts. This is what so many people still, you know, get messed up with, is they think, okay, it only matters what I do externally. I do more actions, I change my actions, I wake up at 5 a.m. because this is what successful people do. I do this, I do that. I purchase these 5 books because this is what successful people do. In the relationship, I go no contact because this is what you need to do to get a person to give you attention, right? They focus on their acts and what they do externally, but their inner world is oftentimes, sometimes still messed up, still not at the end, still not in the wish fulfilled. So they can try whatever they want externally to get new results, but if internally they haven't moved into already being who they want to be, into already having what they want to have, there are no results, okay? So this is important, right? That your circumstances are determined by your internal attitudes and not by your external acts. because your external acts and what you do and your actions and how you speak and everything comes from your internal state, comes from that internal identity. So if someone wants to be more successful in business, for example, they can try all the tactics, they can try all the funnels, they can try all the websites, the marketing, whatever, right? And I'm sure you know a business owner, maybe you are a business owner by yourself, but if the internal world is not aligned with being successful, with being worthy, with having the revenue that they desire and all of that, they just struggle against the nature of how manifesting works. And they do the actions, but their inner state is not matched, so they just come back to square one eventually. The same for relationships, the same for health, right? If you think you need to do certain exercises and all of that to get healthy again, but internally your self-concept is still that of a ill person, a person that struggles with health, you can do anything you want externally, but you will still come back to this self-concept. That determines your life, where you stand within, okay? And this is what Neville's saying here, the cornerstone, right? Let this sink in. The cornerstone on which all things are based is man's concept of himself, right? It's the inner state that you're in, your state of consciousness, your identity, your self-concept. For me, these are all three different words for the same thing, okay? Because this is, again, what life mirrors back to you. What people, circumstances, events, the things you encounter in your facts of life, what you get reflected back to you is your concept of self, right? So, and you can see, you know, if you currently like your life circumstances, then everything's good. But the chances that because you watch this video, because you engage in these teachings is probably high that you have some desires, that some things trigger you in your circumstances, that you want to change, that you want to have another way. So there is already a desire, right? There is already something that you want to change. So what is that desire? Right? And that desire can only manifest when your internal self-concept is aligned with having that, with being that. So you need to change that. Right? And Neville says he acts as he does. Like I said before, your actions are coming from your internal state. And he has the experiences that he does, right? You get the manifestations that you see in your life right now because his concept of himself is what it is and for no other reason, right? Stop seeking a cause outside of you. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming the circumstances, right? You are causing that, right? Don't take that to the nitty-gritty detail, but actually it's true, right? Your self-concept is reflected back in all aspects of your life. So change happens within, from within to without. As within, so without. You don't start externally. You start to internally go to the end, make this inner state natural, and then externally that will follow. That is reverberant. That is the echo. That's the result. Okay? But I think Neville pointed this out really clearly here, that people and you act as you act, and you have the experiences that you have the manifestations that you have. Your life currently is what it is because of your self-concept, because of what you assume and accept and allow to be true for yourself. All right? And for no other reason. And if you would change your self-concept, right, would you have a different concept of yourself? Would you shift into a different state, which already does exist, which already is available, because you can imagine it, you can think about it, you can envision it, right? Creation is finished. Every possible state, every possible version of you, every possible reality in that sense does exist. We simply select, we simply occupy an already existing state, and therefore like open up an entirely new set of experiences, an entirely new set of manifestations. Yeah, you would act differently. You would have new results, right? So this is why shifting your self-concept, shifting your internal state is what this is all about. Basically shifting into the state where you already are the person that you want to be, where you already have the things that you want to have. If that is in business, in money, in your job, in your relationships, in your health, in your, social interactions, friendships, lifestyle, whatever that is, right? So a change of concept of self, right? A change of your internal state. If you shift into the state of the wish fulfilled, if you shift your inner identity, that automatically, I love this word, alters his future, right? This is what so many people get messed up with, is they think they have to worry about the how and the when, and they nitpick the process, right? It's all about, should I take action or should I don't take action? Watch the video I did. I will link this above right now, called Should I Take Actions When Manifesting? This will erase all of your doubts when it comes to should I take actions, right? Because if you understand that everything, when you went into the end state and made the state natural, then everything from there happens automatically, right? The state in and of itself has all the means necessary to express itself. You will then have the right impulses, the right thoughts, the right actions you do. The right people will come into your life. You will do the right, you will follow the right ideas, and you can't even resist those ideas because simply you do it automatically. There is no worry and no second guessing. You simply follow those ideas because you went into this end state, and this leads you, right? You're drawn on this bridge of incidents to be led to the perfect manifestation of that state that you occupied, right? You psychologically place yourself in the end, and then you're drawn to express that end perfectly, right? Watch the video called Should I Take Actions? I linked this above a couple of seconds ago. Or you just press the little eye over my head if you are on the YouTube app, and there you also find the videos that I linked. But that's the quote, right? That is the importance of self-concept, right? It's the fundamental element of the law of assumption. It's the fundamental element of manifesting, because who you are right now compared to who you are with your manifestation and with being the desired version of yourself that you want to be, these are two different versions, right? These are two different states. So it's all about aligning with this new state internally first, where you already have it, where you already are this desired version of you, and then you can manifest it. It's not the other way around. It's not that when you see the manifestations, then your self-concept change. No, it's because you change your self-concept, the manifestations can show up, right? So if that is the self-concept of happily partnered, being in your desired relationship, being in the state of being in that relationship, being in the state of having the money, being in the state of being financially stable, being in the state of being healthy, being in the state of being a successful business owner, right? These are all different states, all different self-concepts, all different identities. So change that within first, and then the external will follow. If you need help with that, right? Because in this video right now, I did not went into too much detail on how to change that. I just pointed out the importance again on why this is so important. If you want to find out more, then check out my channel, and also check out the free masterclass, which is the first link in the video description, where I give you some insights into how that works, into how Neville described how we should do that the right way. And also, if you already, resonate with these principles and you just feel like you want someone on your side to keep you accountable, to make these shifts happen for your life circumstances, for your desires, for your goals, then you can apply for a free 45-minute consultation call with Upgrade to Life with me. We're going to find out if we are a good fit to work together. And if yes, awesome, let's do this. And if no, you can just continue to learn by yourself, right? There is no bindings here. And that's the second link in the description if you say you want coaching, you want help, you want accountability during this journey, right? So that's it for this video. I hope that I could point out the importance of self-concept again, right? So just follow these 3 core steps that Neville gave, called self-observation, definition of aim, and detachment. I do have an entire own video on this. I will link it above right now. Because first of all, you're self-aware. You see, okay, where do my reactions in life not match my desires? So if you go through life and something around money, something around relationships trigger you, then there are desires. Then there is where you want something to be different in your life. So get clear on your desires. Then define who you want to be, what you want to have, right? What is that new self-concept, right? Who you want to be. And then we want to detach from the old self-concept by making the new self-concept natural, by placing our awareness, our focus, our attention on already being who we want to be, already having what we want to have. Then this inner state becomes natural, and then the external again can manifest that, right? Then the results, the effects of life will change and mold around our new internal world, our new internal alignment, okay? So that's it. I look forward to speak to you soon in the next video, and bye guys.